Hi, guys. This is Tracy with Inside Pool Magazine. As you know, I've been championing these episodes here for the past couple of weeks, getting exposure for our young community in the pool industry. All of these kids have come to me asking me, hey, can you help us get some more areas to play pool? Or can you help us with more tournaments? We have two major industries that are working tirelessly for the junior community, and we appreciate them completely. But we still need the public's help. We need all of our pool players to rally together to help support these children in their dreams. Some of us have actually accomplished those dreams, like Shane Van Boning, Billy Thorpe, Chris Reinhold, and a slew of others. So in order to get our children there, we have to make sure they get the support they need. So this is the reason why I started this campaign. I will continue running this campaign until it's no longer needed. So you guys are going to be seeing me quite a lot. But coming up next, we'll get off of that soapbox. Coming up next, we have little Johnny, and he is amazing. This kid, I've watched him play a little bit on the his live streams, and he is fantastic. I don't know if you guys know these some of these kids that I've been putting out there, but you need to watch their videos. They are future champions in the making. But I'm going to run John's little video for you right quick, and then we'll introduce him. This is Mr. John. Hi, guys. How are you tonight?
Very good.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Would you guys like to introduce yourself to the fans?
I'm John Barsamian, and I'm 11 years old, and I go to Mount Washington Elementary in Mount Washington, Kentucky.
Awesome. Mom and Dad, how did he get started doing this?
Well, we put a pool table in the basement, and I play quite a bit, and he just picked the cue up one day and just took to it and loves it.
Oh my gosh, Mom, what do you think about this kid that you have?
Oh, he's a great kid. He works hard at whatever he does, and as of the last couple of years, he's really been drawn to the various aspects of pool. I mean, it's helped his discipline. He's very methodical about things. It helps him think of multiple steps ahead of, it helps him in life. Just it's a beautiful thing that I didn't know a lot about prior to this. So he's bringing me along on his journey.
Oh, well, that's fun. That's something new for you to learn. Most moms are out there being a soccer mom or being a baseball caddy. You're doing that too?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are well-rounded parents. Especially being in the pool community, that's at least you're inside instead of out on the baseball field or out in the soccer field. I guess it's one demon after another.
Yes.
But it sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys are exhausted. Andy, when did you notice that you had something special?
I think from the beginning, he's a very scientific, mathematic type kid that just solves problems. And from the beginning, as soon as he learned how to hit a ball straight, then he realized, like, I can do more with the cue ball. And watching the group of us play, constantly trying to keep up with us, none of the guys take it easy on him that come over and play. So he just decided, I want to get as good as you guys. And just watching him grow and embrace it has just been an absolute blessing for me.
Well, I mean, I bet. I mean, especially if you've got to chip off the old block there. Is he better than you, Andy?
Well, it depends who you ask. He is.
What do you think, John? Are you better than Dad?
I beat him consistently in race to 3.
Oh, well, he said consistently, Andy. I believe he's pretty much nailed that.
Getting there.
You can't do anything about consistent.
That's
Mom,
correct.
at what age did you notice that he was a little different than your normal child?
He's always been a go-getter. He's always saw things in life that he wanted. If it was, I remember even from an early age, he got moved up in daycare, and everyone else was going potty, and he was not going to be done. So he's always been one to say, "Hey, I want to go do that, and I'm going to figure out how to get there, and I'm going to put the time and energy into the work that it takes to achieve what I want to."
Both of my boys were the same way. I had one, and it was at first it was funny at first, and then it became a nightmare. Kindergarten, he would argue with everybody. I mean, he had to be right, and then if he didn't know something, he was searching to find the answers. He's always been that way, and we were just like, please don't say anything to the teacher this week. But he ended up being one amazing young man. He's 23 now, and he is a computer engineer. So, let them be curious. I just allowed him to be him. I mean, you can't stop a child when they have a dream. And I see that in your son. And I had been watching him, actually. Somebody had told me. And, they were like his page and watch. So that's what I did. So, I know that sounds weird, but, I was sneaking around. I was watching your kid's page. I was like, I wonder if somebody's going to reach out to me about this child. And, it was like a day or two that I had watched him playing. And then lo and behold, Andy sent me a message, and I was like, well, I was going to contact you, but I've been so busy. And it was amazing how natural he is. Just like some of these other kids, they are coming out of their shells a lot faster than I feel that we did when we were children, because, we grew up in a totally different age. These kids are way more vocal about what they want. And they're not waiting to go after it. And that's going to make some amazing adults. With John, do you think that you're different than your other classmates?
In certain ways, I think different than them. Like, they might think of one way to solve it, but I'm like, well, we can do it this way. If this doesn't work, we can try this way. I feel like I usually come up with some more ideas, and I feel like I'm willing to ask questions, or sometimes my peers are like afraid of asking questions.
Good answer. I like that answer. Well, you being the math wizard that you are, pool should be extremely fascinating with you. You like numbers and angles and things like that?
Yes.
It shows. It definitely shows. You've got a future champion on your hands, Mom, Dad. That kid is something else. Well, let's get on with the questions. Actually, we have a comment. We have somebody out in the audience. Danny Medina says, Denver Dynamite. I'm not sure who this is, but let's see. Is that one of you guys? Danny Godzilla Medina, 9-ball master's son in the house. Well, hello, Mr. Medina. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for supporting our junior players and for watching tonight. We appreciate it. Okay, let's get on with some of these questions. So, how long have you been playing, John?
I've been playing for 4.5 years.
4.5 years. And do you have a Fargo rating, or is it just an APA rating where you're from?
I have an APA rating, and I'm a 6 and 9 ball and a 5 and 8 ball in the adult league.
Okay. That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong for 11. That's pretty strong. Who has been your biggest motivator or support system so far?
Really, my dad has just been teaching me from the beginning, showing me better ways to do things and teaching me new ways to do things.
Fantastic. Good answer. Do you have a favorite professional pool player that you?
Two, for two different reasons. I like Federer Gorsh just because of his domination and how young he is, and I really like Shane because he shows what and how to wisely spend your money so that he can go fishing if he wants to, and he doesn't have to worry about winning tournaments for the money, and he's financially set.
Right. He knew what to do at an early age because he had good mentors. He had some good people standing behind him. So as long as you listen to the parents and you take good advice, but you're a pretty smart kid, so you'll be able to handle this, I believe. I think you'll be able to handle it. But, mom and dad will always be there to give you advice and help you out when you need it.
Thank you.
That's what we're here for. Unfortunately, you're stuck with them, sir. Those are the parents that you chose. That's what I keep telling my boys. You picked me. They're like, oh, geez. Okay. What is your biggest accomplishment to date in the pool industry? And then we'll talk about school.
I think taking second in the Indiana State Juniors tournament.
Awesome. How many kids was in that tournament? Do you remember?
I really don't remember. It was a tough tournament.
It was a tough tournament. Were there were adults in this tournament as well?
No, it was just juniors.
The juniors. Okay. How at what ages were they? Was it just a mix of juniors that you had to beat to come in second, or was it just a bracket of juniors? Do you remember?
It was U18 and U13 divisions.
Okay, that's good. That sounds like some good competition then. Some very good competition. John, do you get bored when you're playing people under your skill level?
No, because I always challenge myself with like the APA format. I have to spot people. I'm like, okay, I know I'm spotting them, but can I beat them more, get more points for the team? Can I beat them and I also need to know that if I need to play safeties so they don't get points because their points are worth more if they're going to less points than me.
He's a numbers man, Mom.
Yes.
All about those numbers.
Oh yeah.
You might need to. Donald Trump might need to call him. Let's see. What has been your biggest lesson so far?
Gina Albrecht out of Wisconsin taught me his was it aim right system.
So you like that system fairly well?
Yeah, and he
works.
Worked with my stance to make my stroke and my stance smoother.
Nice. Good answer. What is one tournament you would like to attend and why?
I would really like to be selected for the Moscone Cup team one day because I feel like I really enjoy representing the U.S. on a world stage like that.
Amazing. That's fantastic. And we look forward to seeing you on that team, sir. We surely do. And I guarantee you'll see Dad cry once you make that team. We already know Mom's going to, but I think you'll make Dad cry on that one. Do you, after high school, do you intend on furthering your education, John? Or are you planning on going into pool as your profession?
I plan on going to Purdue and being an engineer, and they have a pool team. So I want to have a good education so that if my pool career doesn't work out, I want to have something that I know is going to work. And then if my pool career doesn't turn out really good, that's kind of like a surprise, but I want to have something that I know if I go out and don't end up doing good or something like that, I have a skill set that can get me a good paying job.
Wow. Are you sure he's 11? Wow. That's fantastic. Got a good head on your shoulders for an 11-year-old. Mom and Dad, have you noticed his grades suffering at all during chasing this dream?
No, not at all. It's a priority to him, and I'm a teacher myself, so homework gets done before leisure activities or sports. So he comes home, takes a little mental break, has a snack, gets done what he needs, his responsibilities to fulfill for school, and then the rest of the night is his for pool and practice and drills, whatever he chooses. But he knows that the required work comes before the extra stuff or the hobby. So certainly he is disciplined and manages his time well.
I mean, it's apparent the kid's very well rounded, and it shows. John, do you think that more kids should put more emphasis in school to get an education prior to being on the pool table, or do you think that it just depends on the kid?
I think we all need to worry about our education first, because if we're not doing good in school, we're gonna have that stuff on our mind, and we might have make up stuff we have, so then we can't do pool, and we can't rely on pool going through perfect. I mean, something could happen to us, and we might not be able to play pool anymore, or our pool game might just struggle. So we need to, even though we might not enjoy school, we know in the long run that school is needed to have. We need to have a good education.
Good answer. Fantastic answer. I love the honesty with the kids, because when you ask kids a question, they tell you honestly. You know, they don't have that, let me tell that white lie feature like the adults do. So he's going to give it to me straight when I ask him. John's a little bit special, though. Mom, didn't he win some awards in school?
Oh yes, he's math is his strong academic strong point, and he's won the
Governor's Cup.
I'm sorry, the Regional Governor's Cup. 2 years in a row, he's taken first place. So,
and that's out of the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, several. The local one was several elementaries in our city, and then otherwise it was several counties in Kentucky. So, first place, thousands of kids in math. That's pretty impressive. We're super proud of him.
Congratulations, sir. I'm glad to know you. I'll make sure I'll call you when I need to do my books.
Also very well in his K prep was state standardized testing. Remember what?
All distinguishes, which is the highest level you can get.
So across the content areas, he received all distinguished, and he was the only one in his school to do that also. So, that hard work and that discipline, and even though there might be content areas he doesn't like, he sticks with it and applies what he needs, applies his knowledge, and then he gets to do the fun stuff.
So he's not afraid to put in the work at all on the pool table or in school.
No.
Excellent. You hear this, pool fans? You hear these sponsors? These kids are actually working their tails off. They're not just on the pool table. They're out here learning things. They're learning how to do other things besides pool. They want to be professional players, and they probably can be professional players, but professional players can also be doctors, lawyers, engineers. They can also be technicians of any kind. It takes a village to raise pool players, and that's what we're trying to do. Absolutely. Very nice. Very nice. I love that. How many hours a week do you spend on practice, John?
Usually about 7.
Awesome. Do you currently have a practice regime set up that you practice before you go to these larger tournaments?
Usually I will take about a month before. I'll take a week off, because I always seem to come back, even if I'm shooting good or bad, I come back better. Then I'll make sure I'll practice make sure my stroke is straight. Then I have this drill that helps help get the cue ball to go through the table. And then I'll work on my break, making sure that if I'm playing 8-ball or 9-ball that I'm breaking good. And then I'll just play some to try to get some situational, like, okay, if I see this, I know I can do this, and practice some shots that I've been struggling with.
Good. Sounds nice there. Mom and Dad, during some of these tournaments, especially these big nationals tournaments, in Vegas and some of these other ones like the junior internationals, have you noticed any mental fatigue with him during these long grinds, especially, if he's having to play back to back to back?
Yeah, we have, and he can tell you about it. We kind of have this little analogy that we work with, if you want to talk about
How are
it.
you handling that, John? The mental fatigue.
So we act like I have a bank account and I can only use up so much emotional energy. And I don't want to be writing checks of emotional energy in situations when I don't need it. I need to save those emotions for when I get in a match that's a long, tough match. I need to save my emotions for that, not lose emotions because my opponent got lucky or stuff like that. I just need to let that stuff go.
I believe Joey Gray called it the 10-second rule. Give yourself 10 seconds, walk away from the table, compose yourself, and come back. Good answer.
Physical
What about
these kids are incredible. Just
aren't they? I mean, we have a bad day at work, and we're like, oh, I can't wait to get home and get in the bathtub and think about nothing.
Yeah. At the JIC tournaments, you see these kids play a match, and then they're over on a table shooting, in between matches and
Having a good time
all day long. We're getting emotionally and physically fatigued by the end of it.
If we could bottle all that energy, we'd be some rich people. I mean, they have all the energy in the world. My mom used to tell me, one of these days, little girl, you're going to be tired. I was the hyperactive one. My siblings, not so much, but I was the one that was always inquisitive, getting into things. But I read a lot of books. So because I read a lot of books, I had this massive imagination, and my thing was, I can save the world. She goes, you and that crown and that cape are going to get in trouble. I had a little crown my grandparents got me, and I used to shoot pool with a little crown on my head and a little cape.
Awesome.
My grandfather's like, just leave her alone. I'd drag a little box around with me so I could reach the table. I was the shortest one in my family, so I'm only like 5'5" now, and I was so tiny. And the kids nowadays seem so tall. And I remember scooting that little box around so I could reach the shot. So at least these kids have better equipment. I shot on an old valley with carpet on the table. But that was how it began. It began with a grandparent and the love of pool. And, I was fascinated with it. It's like, why are they doing that? So I would hang out. I would listen. And when we played, my grandfather was he fought in the Korean War. So he was a war veteran, and they played in an American Legion. And if you guys know about the American Legions, or the VFWs, which is the Veteran War, they have this foreign affairs or something like that. They're all locked, so there's nothing coming in there that you don't know. All these people are associated with each other. So was my first experience with a pool table, and that was when a village raised kids, because everybody knew me. They were like, well, here comes that little diva again. But you're doing such a fantastic job with your mental focus. Do you have any physical exhaustion when you're finished playing at the end of your tournaments?
Sometimes if I've been up all day back to back, like sometimes at the end of the day, if I played all day in some local tournaments, sometimes all night. At the end of the night, sometimes my shoulders are hurt just from that stroking motion thousands of times throughout the night.
Yeah. Well, that's good, though. He sounds like he's handling it well. He's understanding his body, and that's pretty good for somebody his age.
Yep.
Thank you.
Do you have any siblings?
I have one brother. He's adopted from Ethiopia. He's 21, and he's in the Army.
Awesome. Will you tell him thank you for his service?
I will.
Amazing.
That's how he came up with his logo with the JB-82. His brother's in the 82nd Airborne. So there is a story behind it. Yep.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you both for doing that for that child. I mean, that's your son, and I know you're extremely proud of him. And I'm honored to know this, and I'm honored to have your entire family on our show. That's special. That's very special. I love it. Let's see. Do you feel that the junior players have the support they need, John?
I feel like now with the JIC and the BEF, I feel like they're getting there, but I feel like the more people that we can get seeing junior pool players, and the more and more people that see it, the more and more people I can contribute and be like, oh, I might want to sponsor that kid or stuff like that. I feel like it does have enough attention, but more attention wouldn't hurt it at all. Just more people getting to know junior pool, expecting to see these juniors, and just knowing that these juniors can play and that these juniors are playing good too.
They are. There's a lot of you guys out there. There's a lot more. I feel there's a lot more there than when I was a child. I mean, I just feel that way. I've never seen so many kids love a sport as much as, your children do. And I'm extremely honored to be able to do this for you guys. Let's see. If you could fast forward 10 years, where do you see yourself?
So I'd put me at 21. I'd see myself as a junior in college at Purdue, getting ready to play for the Moscone Cup.
Awesome. Mom and Dad, do you guys feel like the media and the tournament directors and the venues are doing enough for your children?
We struggle a little bit in Louisville here. There's not a lot of places for juniors to play at. Just like in Alabama, a lot of them with the alcohol in Kentucky here, they can't play. Sometimes that's a challenge. He is able to play in our local APA league and a little travel league of a little bar that lets him come in there and play. But beyond that, it's we're really looking forward to the Louisville pool scene is changing. A lot of exciting things happening here. A lot of the juniors know Beck Matthews. Beck Matthews' dad is opening up Smiley's Pockets here in town in the next few weeks,
Awesome.
which is really junior friendly. We're really excited for that. And Kyle Ferguson has opened up the rail here with, I think it's 38 tables in there. And he's working really hard to figure out how he's got to have his license done so the juniors can play there, because he's a big supporter of junior players. So,
if you need somebody to back him, tell him to give me a call. I'll do that. Absolutely. Be more than happy to. Maryland has done something spectacular in that state. If you watched Mr. Spain's video, that lady went to all extremes to make sure that those kids could be taken care of. So you tell that man if he needs me to back him up, just let me know. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. We need more people like that. We need more places.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome. It's, Jaws is an incredible kid.
He's so respectful. His entire family is amazing. They're such nice people. And I have not met not one family that I have not enjoyed having on the show. Poor Nick DeLeon has been on location all over the place. He's in the UK right now playing in an event. And I was like, I have all this extra time. And he goes, I see you've been sneaky. I said, I've not been sneaky. I've posted it all over Facebook. And he said, these kids are loving it. And I was like, well, I'm glad you're hearing about it because you're going to help me soon.
Thank you.
Oh, my gosh. And I do have a question for John. What advice would you give someone if they walked up to you and said, how do I get started doing this?
I'd say, first of all, you just need to be patient. Even though drills are going to make you better, don't start out playing pool with drills. If you want to just hit balls, you gotta enjoy pool before you're willing to put the time in to get good at pool. And honestly, I'd say listen to people that are better than you. Watch tons of different people, see their stroke, how they shoot, and just kind of make your own version. Take little bits and pieces from everybody. Be like a sponge, soak up as much water as you can, and you only need to use what you need to use, but you want to get as much information as you can.
He's like a little sponge, isn't he, Mom? I love it. He's like a little sponge. Wow.
Well, I figured there's lots of stuff out in the world that, his head isn't in electronics.
They have so much more information than what we had. They have the internet and all these videos. I mean, I want them learning something that's beneficial, not just video games and shooting things. There's other things to learn. I grew up, like I said, I grew up outside and reading books. I didn't have the internet, and I think I was lucky because that gave me this massive, insane imagination to become, who I am right now, which is I love to write. And this child of yours is so fascinated with numbers. It's you should have seen it coming. Pool is nothing but mathematics. And do you play chess at all, John?
Yes, I actually play. I don't play as competitively now, but I placed in 2019. I placed in the national chess tournament for kindergarten to third grade at nationals.
Wow. You have a spectacular child. You guys were not kidding me when they were saying you want to know about a spectacular kid. Wow, that is amazing. Do you enjoy playing chess?
Yeah, I really like it because I like calculating what I'm gonna do and trying to take an educated guess on what my opponent's gonna do. So what am I gonna do? Like in chess, I look 3 or 4 moves ahead. Pool, I also look like 3 or 4 shots ahead.
I think pool and chess go hand in hand. It's all about your strategy. It's a strategic type of game. People always ask me, people that don't know that I play pool. I mean, I don't play a whole lot anymore, but it was almost like they've never met a girl that played pool. And I was like, there's plenty of us. And they're like, well, I've never met a girl that plays pool. And they asked me why. And for me, it was a relaxation thing because my mind never stops. Being a writer, your mind is never quiet. And for me, pool helped calm me down a little bit, and it kept me from being hyperactive or overthinking. So I used it for something different, but your son uses it because it's in him. It's almost like an extension of who he is, and you can see it in him. You have a Shane Van Boning. I promise you do. This kid is something else. Okay, if you could speak to someone with unlimited funds, I mean, they're just going to hand you a big fat bag of money, and they're going to say, I want you to distribute this any way you want to. What would you use that money for?
Well, junior tournaments, I really give a shout out to JIC, Corey, Trina, and Rod. They run an amazing tournament.
They're awesome.
If I'd run a juniors tournament, I would say I don't need this money. The JIC is running it. I couldn't ask for them to run a better tournament. Honestly, here in Louisville, I'd get a lot more places for juniors to play because now there's Smiley's Pockets is the only place that we could play, but I think it'd be cool if there was tons of places that had a good amount of pool tables that juniors could play on. Have just a good we're a junior pool family. Make it feel like we're a family, not just a few juniors that come to play. Make us feel like we're a junior family.
Right. You're absolutely right there, sir. You nailed it. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'm out of questions. So I'm going to ask you a couple other things. Everybody wants to know, John, what is in your case?
He was excited for what's in the head up here, so I'm just gonna rotate the camera.
Okay. You guys do whatever you need to because I'm gonna have him hit some balls too.
So I play my jump cue is the Kasi Air Hog, and then my shooting cue is a Carter Custom Cue. He's my cue sponsor, and then that's my break cue, and then my shooting cue is a Carter Custom Conversion with a Brent Summers blank, and then my case, which big shout out to Cornerstone Custom Cues. Can you put in the camera? It is a Valtteri case with, and it's just crazy, and the gladiator going into battle on the back.
That's pretty. I love that.
And then the front, it has a cross on it, and the rest of the
Wow. Okay, now make sure you repeat his name so everybody can hear it because they may want one of those.
It's Cornerstone Custom Cues. He's sponsored me with this case. He actually sent it down for free. He wanted to support me, and this is a Valtteri case, Valtteri leather cases.
Well, thank you so much. Would you like to hit some balls for us tonight? I would love to see you play. While he's putting his stuff together, Mom and Dad, do you guys have any plans on taking him to Janet Outwell's place?
Yes. That's so right now John made the decision. He's a very competitive soccer player, and he made the decision after spring season. He wants to focus on his education and on playing pool. So we are looking forward to the next year of getting him out and about, getting him in more junior tournaments, and traveling around to where the juniors are.
Now, I know there's something going on in Missouri, in St. Louis. Are you guys headed to that tournament?
Yep. John was one of the 3 from Louisville that got selected. It was John and Beck Matthews and Hayden Nertz.
All right. Well,
those 3 will be representing Louisville out in St. Louis.
I am going to do my best to make that tournament. So you guys will actually get to meet me
We'd love
in St. Louis if everything pans out. I have to figure out some things before then because I have a couple of other events that I have to attend to, but I'm going to do my best to get there.
Awesome.
Okay, John, what have we got going on here? Is this what you do with a drill, sir? Is this one of your practice things? Can you walk us through what you're about to do, please?
Yeah, so this is the 15 ball drill. Corey at the JIC taught me this, or showed me this drill. So every 2 diamonds, and in the pocket you put a ball in on the rail or in the pocket in the middle, and then on the other side, and you use all 15 balls, and then you have to make it without. Well, you can only touch the ball that you're going to make in. If you touch any other balls, you have to set the whole thing up again, which is annoying if you get down to like the last ball and miss, or touch another ball, then you got to reset up the whole thing.
Oh my goodness, I bet it is. Finding Keno says, thumbs up. Good job, buddy. How many times does he do this, Andy?
This is his regular route. He does this probably 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Has he run them all out? How many times has he run them all out?
Oh, numerous times. At 6:30 in the morning, he's down here doing balls. This is my alarm clock in the morning, hearing balls drop in the pocket before school. So
You don't have to wake him up. He's already up and going.
He's up and going every morning. This is a great little drill. And like you said, Corey, at the JIC, what they do for them kids there. If there's any juniors out there that hasn't played in a JIC event, find one and go do it. You won't regret it. It's just a fun little drill, just teaching you cue ball control, how to move the ball around. You know,
I actually do something similar to that myself.
okay. Oh, yeah, it's slow rolling balls, and that, that's the biggest thing there is just keep slow rolling the balls.
So you have a 7-foot and a 9-foot table in the house?
Yeah, we do. We're pretty fortunate. We got a 7-foot diamond and a 9-foot diamond, and every
Which one
month.
does he prefer?
Yeah, he's very strategical on the way he plays it. It depends who's he's playing.
I like the 7-footer because it's easier to run, but I like the 9-footer also because with my break it works better on the 9-footer, and safeties, which I really like to get into safety battles, is there's a lot more safety opportunities on the 9-footer, and the 9-footer has 4 1/4 inch pockets.
Ah.
And we have it every Monday night at the house here. We got 7 or 8 guys that come over, and
Right.
John's our little league operator. He has a whole league set up that we play at, and he does his little payouts at the end of the sessions. And
Fun. So I guess you guys were entertained during COVID. You didn't have to worry about anything during the lockdown.
no, we were able to keep busy.
I think all that did was just spur him more.
I believe it did. Yes. It goes back to what he said. He started out just banging balls and just having fun. Like you, he had his little stand that he'd carry around the table.
Right. It was just fun at first, and then the whole strategic thing hit me. It's like, hey, there's an actual rhythm and something does make sense here. Let me find out a little more about why things do what they do. And then I got a little more curious.
Oh, yeah. No, it's absolutely, if anybody gets a chance to go out and support the juniors and the JIC tournaments.
Absolutely.
Some of them kids are just absolutely amazing.
They're phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, we watched a little 10-year-old put up a 4-pack and 9-ball like it was nothing, And so I sit there and chuckle like I'm afraid to play them. If JIC's in your town, please come out and support it. You'll see some absolutely great pool. You'll see the kids with what they're doing there at JIC. They're teaching the kids the right way.
Right.
These kids are in dress pants, dress shoes, uniforms. Back to
we're going back a little more to the old school, the way they did these tournaments back in the 90s and in the 80s, where you had to be dressed nicely.
Well, the thing is
because of the television mostly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things with our sport is, if we start acting like corporate America, we'll get corporate America.
I hope so. You're absolutely right, sir.
Oh.
Putting too much pressure on you.
Yeah.
John, do you have a favorite shot that when it comes up, that's just something you just love to shoot? I didn't have to ask him twice.
Jump shot. So
is he pretty accurate with that thing, Dad?
He's getting scary with that thing.
Oh, wow. They learn so quickly.
So jumping over the 6-9, cutting the 12 into the pocket. Usually I make it on the first or second try.
Right again. You're kind of on the spot here, so we're going to give you some slack. Nice. Unfortunate error, but it looked good.
No, it's so funny. I was sitting upstairs. Me and Tanya were watching TV, and I heard a bunch of thuds down here, and I'm like, "What the heck is he doing?" And came down here, and the kid taught himself how to jump balls in the night.
You're like, what is he pounding on down there?
What's up? Yeah. I'm sorry.
So, how many balls on the break does he normally get? Do you have a problem making balls on the break, John?
Well, the biggest problem is I'll show you is if I can keep the cue ball on the table. Usually I'm making 1 to 2 balls, keeping the cue ball in the center of the table. As long as I keep the cue ball on the table.
And he has a break rack that he practices with.
Okay. Those are nice.
Oh yeah.
Saves you from having to run down there every day.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the best investments we made in him getting better, was where he can sit here and, of course, watching Shane do it for 8-9 hours at a time.
I couldn't break balls for 8-9 hours. There's no way.
That's the easy way to do it.
Nice. 9-ball break.
That's a way easy way to do it. I think that made up for a scratch on the jump shot, snapping the 9.
There you go. You sure did. John, do you play any other games besides 8 and 9 ball?
Once in a while I will throw some 10 ball in. I'll play 1 pocket, banks.
Do you play any straight pool?
I've messed around with it in my spare time.
Well, it's not like you have that much spare time, sir. With your full-time job and all.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of straight pool down here. Kentucky.
It's never been something that's been very popular in my area either. American rotation caught on down here for a little bit. If you can get some information on that, Andy, and he may actually enjoy that.
Okay. Yeah, here we're fortunate. We got Truman Hogue here in town. That Rack 66 is our little pool shop in town, and Truman Hogue was world champion player. So him and John are buddies, and Truman's always teaching them new things that are crazy and insane. But Truman and Brian Roberts up there at Rack 66, they're big supporters of what John's doing, and whatever they can do to help out awesome people.
Did I seriously just do that?
So what is his favorite game? John, what is your favorite game?
Well, when I'm playing probably 9 ball or 1 pocket.
I was about to ask you if you liked 1 pocket because it's so strategic.
Yeah, I really like when you get into those intense where 1 shot could be the whole game is 1 shot.
Dad, do you think he thrives on the pressure?
I think he's starting to learn how to. That's what's so fun about watching these juniors is they, most of them don't know what pressure is,
Right. Their gears are completely different than an adult.
Yes. They just have no fear in anything, and they'll grab a jump cue without hesitation, and it's scary. So under pressure, I think he plays really good under pressure, but he's also getting himself into scenarios where he's got to learn more to do that.
Right.
And he he'll invite people over to the house that play about his level, and he'll spot them and try to learn how to play with that pressure and learn how to play, giving up spots and all that good stuff that goes with it. So we're very fortunate to have a real good group of guys that hang out here.
It sounds like you have a good community to help him. Has Joey Gray came to your area yet?
I don't know that. No, I know he has not. That I know of.
If he does get out that way, I strongly recommend you guys picking up one of his clinics for John. Okay. I think it would help him a little bit. Joey has just some charisma with these kids.
Yep.
That it comes natural for Joey, and they they actually learn a lot from him in just one session. It's amazing how much they learn from him in one session.
No, and that's awesome. And to see, instructors like Joey and, D. Atkins up in Ohio.
Right. Dee's amazing too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard such amazing things about Dee, and he slipped through my fingers at Derby City. I looked up and he was gone. I was like, crap.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to him.
Well, and that's the biggest thing. You look at things like Derby City where, the kids aren't there, and it's
Right.
just challenging with the sport because, the heroes that they look up to, they don't get to see them,
Right.
And hopefully at some point that, they get the opportunity to do it. And, watching guys, like Jason Shaw and them guys that are showing up at these junior tournaments, that's just so encouraging for these guys.
Right. It is.
And they're the next generation. They're the ones that's going to keep our sport alive.
Good job, buddy. Good job. That's awesome. My goodness. So where you said you were headed where next, John? When is your next tournament?
I'm heading up to St. Louis for the APA Nationals.
Yep.
Yeah, APA Nationals. Then I go down to Tennessee.
To Bristol, to Janet's place.
Yeah,
Yep.
for Memorial's Play on Memorial Weekend. And then I go to
The league room
for a JIC.
Okay, is that the one in St. Louis?
No, that's in Virginia.
The league room.
That's the Virginia one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think the one in
It's
St.
the
Louis
one
is
that-
a little further down. I think it's in July. Is it in July?
Yes.
Okay.
20.
Because I know it's right before the World Games, and the World Games are in Birmingham, Alabama this year, so I am not missing that. Well, it's been a pleasure, John. If there is ever anything I can do for you guys and your family, you please reach out to me. Don't hesitate. If there's any sponsors out there that's looking to pick up an amazing kid with a awesome future, I highly recommend picking up this child. He's awesome. Well, I'm going to let you guys get back to your Sundays, and I appreciate your time. Mom and Dad, you guys have raised one amazing kid. He's going to go far in this field. And I look forward to seeing you on the Moscone Cup, sir.
Thank you.
I mean, someone has got to give Nick a challenge. He'll be too old to play in it then. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much. If you guys will hang out with me just for a few minutes, I want to talk to you after the broadcast. I'm going to pull you out and do my log out. So you guys hang in there. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, that was Mr. John. And as you can see, this kid is one amazing kid. He has a bright future. There are a lot of our kids out there that are striving to be the best that they can possibly be, and they need just a little bit of help. So if there are any sponsors out there looking for a kid, if you'll just contact me or Autumn Grusella or Nick DeLeon, let me find that banner. This is Autumn's address. It's Autumn Grusella. It's autumn.insidepoolmag@gmail.com, or you can contact me, tracylerma.insidepoolmag@gmail.com. We would be more than happy to talk to any of you guys about your children or about sponsorship for one of these kids. It takes a village to raise a pool player. It takes a village of pool players to raise a pool player. And what we're doing here is trying to get the word out that these kids need a little more help than what they're getting. Not only that, so do the women's tournaments as well. I'm not saying anything negative about the tournaments that are going on because they're fantastic, but it seems like we're forgetting about some of the other players. So keep vigil, guys, because the Diva's up to some stuff. She's got a couple of friends in the background saying, how can I help? So if you want to help, give us a shout out and we'll answer you. So on behalf of John, his parents, and the rest of Inside Pool Magazine, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a great evening, and you guys be safe and make sure you're hitting those balls straight.